Welcome back, everybody. For those of you who are new, my name is Desiree Cummings, aka Virtuous Desi. I help those desiring love and compassion find the relationship that they deserve to have. Today's video is it's for the men, y'all. It's for you guys out there. I basically got a question from a client that I was glad that he asked, but I also, I felt like it was a really good question, which is, how do I recognize a woman that is whole, a woman that realizes that she is an asset, right? And this came about because this is a young man now. He's like 24, but he's done very well for himself. He is seeking after God, putting God first, comes from a family that did not do that in any way, shape, or form. This is a young man that reached out for help, to talk to a coach, talk to a counselor, because he didn't really have anyone else to talk to about these things. So the backstory to that was he had met a young lady that was emotionally unhealthy. She's the type of woman that needs a man, as opposed to being the woman that a man needs. You get my drift. So here we are, relatively healthy guy meeting unhealthy girl. And of course this could happen vice versa, but he asked, after all was said and done, okay, after all was said and done in that session, the stories he was telling is what led me to believe, and without a shadow of a doubt, that this is an unhealthy female that, again, needs a man instead of being the woman that a man needs. Okay? 110%. Like, Lord. We're not getting into details. But after all was said and done, he asked me the question, how do I know that a woman is healthy and whole and is going to be an asset? How do I recognize that? And one of the things that I shared with him was, using the young lady as an example, is that, a woman who understands her worth, even if you don't see it that way, is the type of woman that is going to be open and be honest, yes, but is going to lead him closer to God. It's going to lead him closer to his goals. It's going to be okay standing on her own. She's not going to present herself as needing emotional support, financial support, physical support right off the bat. There's a 90-day rule out there. I suggest you guys follow it. That's a whole nother video. But the question is, how do you recognize a whole woman? And one of the things that you recognize is that she's not immediately leaning on you emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, whatever. Okay? Because that is someone who has been sitting around waiting for someone to unload on. That is not a woman that's been standing on her own 2 feet. I'm not talking about this I don't need a man feminism type of stuff. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is someone who has a support system outside of a brand spanking new relationship. Okay? And I brought up the 90-day rule because that right there is a boundary. Okay? You don't know someone, you can't rely on someone, you can't trust someone until you get to know that person. And it takes time to get beyond the person's representative. Okay? These are just facts. All right? And even when a person appears to be pouring out and being vulnerable and open, you have to be careful with those types too. Okay? Because that's a form of emotional manipulation. But a whole and healthy woman is able to stand on her own 2 feet. She's not immediately calling you for very personal things. She's not immediately leaning on you as if you're a boyfriend or a husband when you are neither. Okay? She's lifting you up. If there's a period of separation and maybe you guys need to think about the relationship, maybe you're not sure, there needs to be a separation. Okay? She's not, running to your house and waiting 2 hours for you to get there. She's not, cussing at you 1 second and then crying and begging you to come back the next. Okay? And this is really important and key for the men out there who do have compassion and do have a heart, and you feel like, where are all the good women? And you get your hearts hurt, and that's where you get hardened and you start to lose respect for women or whatever. And so I'm trying to save you from falling into that trap by letting you know that there are certain signs you need to watch out for. And it's not selfish for you to withhold from someone you just met, someone already requesting things of you immediately. That's a red flag. Okay, and I'm a fan of green flags. I'm wearing green. Okay, I'm a fan of green flags. I really am. It's just that when you're weighing the red flags with the green flags, depending on what those red flags are, if those red flags hold more weight as far as your future than the green flags, then it's a no, boo. But someone who seems as if she hasn't had a long period of time in between relationships, that's another thing, okay? If she seems like she's jumping from relationship to relationship, and whatever her excuse is, you guys, well, I just happened, nah, it is not, you just happened to meet, no, you saw an opportunity that you were waiting on and you dove right in, okay? Trust me, women these days that can say no to a relationship or I'm not ready, that is a brave woman. Mark that woman, and you need to marry her as soon as she's ready, okay? As soon as she is ready, because women who are jumping from relationship to relationship, that's a red flag for me, okay? That's a sign that she's not whole, okay? And the third thing would be a woman without vision, a woman without a vision. If she doesn't have a vision for her life, and I'm not talking, this is kind of tricky for us because obviously I have the handle Virtuous Desi because, well, I shouldn't say obviously, I'm not even going to get fully into that, because that's a whole nother video. But one of the reasons why I have that handle is because I studied the Proverbs 31 woman, okay? And I wanted to, this is when I was a teenager, and I wanted to be that woman, okay? I've had this handle since I was 13, okay? It's been a long time, okay? I don't want to date myself, but that was a long time ago, okay? Maybe when some things started that I'd have a reason to come up with maybe an email address, and that just stuck, Virtuous Desi. So I think that women, especially who are virtuous women, who are women who are making plans to be a wife and a mother, these are the type of women that are going to have a vision for their life, but also make room and space for a husband to lead in certain areas. Okay? There are certain areas she has a vision that he has to come up and agree with. A woman has to have a vision that requires a man to raise up his standard to meet hers. Okay, hopefully his standard is already there. I'm just saying that there should be some fruit in her life that are higher hanging fruit, that someone's going to have to really look up to see, if that makes sense. So And when I say that, I'm not talking about financially, because I feel like a lot of us are getting tripped up in this high value crap that has a lot to do with people with money, who's got money, who doesn't. Women are getting dissatisfied with their husbands because they're not ambitious enough. Okay, because you want the husband that can buy you a cruise and take you around Europe. Okay, that is not the definition of a healthy relationship. That is not even a healthy relationship goal, okay? If you want to travel around Europe, honey, you get your own job and you pay for it yourself, okay? Don't rely on a husband to do that. Just saying. That was a tangent. I'm sorry. what was I saying? Oh, about, what is a whole woman? What is a virtuous woman, right? Because I'm saying that, and I know this is taking some time, but I want to say that because I need to be clear here. I don't want to insinuate something that I'm not saying. So when a woman has her own vision, I'm not talking about necessarily her own business, her own ministry. I mean, it's great if she has those things, if that adds to the picture of the relationship. But what I'm saying is that a woman who has a vision for her home, for her children, more specifically, a woman who has a vision for her community, not a woman who just has a vision about something that involves her. I'm going to grab the bag. I'm going to have my Benz, okay, with the rims. I'm not talking about that type of vision. I'm talking about a woman that has a vision for her community and a woman who has a vision for her home, her family, both her family of origin and her future family, who's investing in those things, okay? That's a woman with vision. A whole and healthy woman is a woman that has vision. Okay, it's a woman that has vision. She is someone that has a vision specifically for her family, both family of origin and her future family, her husband and her children. And she has a vision for her community. Okay, she's willing to get dirty to do the work that matters for future generations, you guys. And that is also for men, but that's a whole nother video. Another hour. You guys, thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful for you, please like, subscribe, guys, out there. If you're looking for more relationship advice, please leave a message below, or I'll leave my email address for those of you who want to be a little bit more discreet. Totally understand. But I hope that this video was a blessing for you. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Love you. Bye.